I call the June 2nd, 2020 regular meeting of council to order. Councilperson Marn will give the invocation this evening.
Heavenly Father, we thank thee for this day. Help us to use good judgment for the business at hand and guide us in wisdom with a continuing sense of truth and fairness for the community we represent.
Pledge allegiance. Here we all stand. To the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Marn?
Yes, here.
Blake? Here. Mr. Donovan?
Here.
Mrs. Dowling? Here. Mr. Kirchner?
Here.
Mr. Krieger?
Here.
Mr. Landig?
Here. Noting the gravity of our national response, I feel it's appropriate to call for a moment of silence for the tragic and senseless killing of George Floyd. Please rise. Thank you. Good evening. I want to welcome the public to this City Council virtual public meeting. If you are attending through the published WebEx link, you will notice a window open on the bottom right-hand side of the screen entitled Q&A. This window will have opened 5 minutes prior to the start of the meeting and will remain open for 10 minutes after the meeting begins for a total of 15 minutes. During that time, if you wish to address council at a later point in this meeting, please type your name, address, and the topic you wish to speak about. This is the only means for you to schedule your participation since the public cannot physically attend in person at this time. At the appropriate time during the meeting, I will recognize you and you will be unmuted. You will be permitted to make comments to council on the topic you requested to speak about. If you wish to comment on an item on the agenda, you will be recognized when that item appears on the agenda. All other comments unrelated to the agenda will be heard near the end of the meeting during the persons before council portion of the agenda. Please make your speaking request at this time, and thank you for your virtual participation. Approval of minutes. Council, you received the minutes of the regular meeting of May 19th, 2020.
Move for approval.
Yeah. Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Marn?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling? Yes. Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Landig?
Yes. The minutes of the May 19th, 2020 regular meeting have been approved. Public hearings, we have none this evening. Tabled legislation, we have none. New legislation, ordinance number 20-0-048.
Ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of an economic development grant with Fulton and Associates.
Mr. Filipiak.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of council. We're very pleased to welcome a new business to our community, and Mr. Malachek will tell you all about it.
Thank you, Mr. Filipiak. Fulton and Associates will be relocating their facility from Wickliffe to Osborne Drive here in Mentor. Along with that, they're relocating 35 jobs and planning to create 7 new jobs by 2023. We have asked in this ordinance for a one-time grant of $10,000 from non-tax revenues as an economic development grant.
Council discussion. I would note that we always welcome and are excited about new jobs to Mentor, but in this time frame, when we see unemployment to unprecedented levels in such a short period of time, we're more grateful than ever for new jobs. Thank you to the administration for bringing this to our attention. Council, what is your pleasure?
Move to suspend.
Second. Please call the roll.
Mr. Marn?
Yes.
Blake?
Yes.
Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling? Yes. Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Landig?
Yes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling? Yes. Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Landig?
Yes. Ordinance number 20-0-048 has been approved. Second reading, there are none. Third reading, there are none. Manager's report, Mr. Filipiak.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of council, we have an open cut request from Jelensic Construction for a storm sewer connection at 7418 Hart Street. It has been evaluated by our engineering department, and they are recommending.
I would comment that it's been brought to my attention that this is a sandy lot. I don't know how sandy, but I would ask that the administration look into a dry well as opposed to the proposed 210-foot inlet basin and storm sewer on this property. That also is cutting into a pavement that's, though it's 7 years old, it's still rated at a 96.6, which is extremely good pavement. I would ask that we delay action until we get some feedback on the possibility of a dry well in lieu of a yard drain.
President,
Mr. Donovan.
I agree with that request. I was over on that property in the pouring rain on Hart Street, and they were forming the basement up to dig it, and the basement was completely dry and there wasn't any water. So we could maybe relook into this without doing the open cut. We would appreciate that.
Certainly look into it. Thank you, members of council. Unfortunately, this would have been the first night of our outdoor counselor series, Men Are Rocks, and we get a lot of, we're getting, still continuing obviously to get a lot of inquiries from our public and those outside of our residents who are interested in when we're going to get started. And the answer to that is we are still bound by the large gathering limitations of no more than 10 imposed by the state of Ohio. So if and when those change, the city will do its best to provide some concert series opportunities within whatever limitations exist, if that's feasible. So just a reminder to our residents, this is not a local decision, but rather one that's driven by the state of Ohio. Mentor Civic Center pool does open, however, on June 13th for Mentor residents only. Passes go on sale this Wednesday, June 3rd. And after today, Mentor Municipal Center will have all 3 floors open for business. The prices for those have been adjusted to reflect the shortened pool season. They are approximately 75% of the original pass cost. Lake County has resumed the special waste collection days this Saturday, June 6th. Residents dispose of household hazardous waste from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Lake County Fairgrounds. Details can be found on their website. The sidewalk inspection schedule for 2020, which is Zone 2A, has been revised. Inspections will be starting in July instead of May, giving residents until next spring, actually, to complete the work. So that's, if you're counting, that's 261 days versus the normal 45 days. There are some notable benchmark delays highlighted on that schedule that we have distributed to those residents who are effective. And so we'll get that bid out about 4 months later than usual. But we'll really still only be about 2 months behind certifying the assessments to the auditor. The city's construction company is currently performing abrasive blasting on concrete surfaces on the outside now of the State Route 306 bridge over State Route 2. Once complete, they will begin painting the exterior of the bridge, and new fence installation will follow that. Probably you'll see that fence going up the week of June 16th, and that will include the Mentor signage on there, as you see on the bridge that crosses Interstate 90. Project completion is currently scheduled for June 26th, and they expect to meet that schedule. The asphalt intermediate course has been installed on Tyler Boulevard, and our contractor has been working on inlet basin reconstruction. Once that work is complete, the final asphalt surface will be placed possibly within the next 2 weeks. That project is actually well ahead of schedule right now. And then finally, council, we're very happy to announce One new business in our community, RB Signa LLC at 6111 Heisley Road. And we thank them for their commitment to the community in this very difficult time that we have, and greatest success. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Filipiak. Clerk's correspondence. Julie?
Nothing to report.
Commission committee reports? There are none. Old business. New business.
President,
Mr. Donovan.
real quick, Mr. Flippy, I know the light poles are all in Old Village. The contractors they haven't shown up in a couple days. People are asking when the sidewalks are going to be going in, and maybe if we could put a little heat on them to get going and do that as promptly as they can, so people can use that properly. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I would also add, there seems to be crack sealing on Lakeshore Boulevard at hours in the evening when there's a lot of congestion. I'm just curious if that could be done during the day when there's lighter traffic, or it seems to back up all the way to the light at 306 right now.
We'll take a look at what the schedule is on that, Mr. President, and report back to you, and we will do everything we can to avoid the heavy traffic areas. I think that was probably what the intention was. Perhaps it's not been as effective.
Great, thank you. Any other new business? Hearing none. Persons before council. I do see someone trying, Tracy Cedarland. I don't know if she was able to successfully, is she on the line? Yes, please. Hello, is Tracy Cedarland there? Hello. We're having trouble with your audio. Okay. Pardon me?
Give her a good call out, Bruce. She's not paying attention.
Okay. Tracy Cedarland, we are at the persons before council, so if you could address council with your question at this time. Thank you.
She left?
Okay. All right. We're going to move on. Perhaps we can see if we can follow up with her. No other persons before council? Council, do we have a motion and a second to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
This meeting is adjourned.